Today we're going to look at end behavior, and that's what the graph does at the ends. So as x goes to positive infinity, or right forever, and as x goes to negative infinity, so as x goes left forever. What happens at the ends of the graph? If the degree is even, so you're looking at just your leading term, if that leading term is even, the ends will go the same direction. And if your leading term is odd, the ends will go opposite directions. The leading term, the leading coefficient, so the number in front of that highest exponent, if it's positive, the right end is up, and if it's negative, the right end is down. This is a nice way to remember everything. I have included this chart below, and that tells you exactly what it does as well, but I think this one up here is really easy to go with. So for example 1, the degree, since they're going opposite directions, I know it's going to be odd. And the right side is going down, so the leading coefficient is negative. On the second one, the ends are going the same direction, so that means it has to be an even leading term. That doesn't mean the function is even. We're just looking at that leading term. So the one that has the highest exponent, was that exponent even or odd? And the leading coefficient on this, so as we go to the right, it's going up, so that means the leading coefficient is positive. And the next example, the ends are going opposite directions, so that's going to be odd. And as I go to the right side, it's going up, so that means my leading coefficient is positive. This chart says the same thing. So an even degree, and the leading coefficient positive means that both ends will go the same direction, and since it's positive, it's going to go up and up. So as x goes to the right forever, so plus infinity, the y values are going up, and as x goes left forever, the y values are going up. So this is telling you x to the right, x to the left, what's happening. And then you're going to tell me what y does. Same thing, you can read the chart for the rest of them. Or you can just look up here, that one explains it as well. So we're going to use that notation as we decide what the graphs do. So for number 4, my leading term, the highest exponent, that has an exponent of 4, 2, 1, and no x's. So this is my leading term. Notice I have even function or even exponents here and odd here, and then 1 would be considered even because I'd have no x's. That could be x to the 0. So I'm mixing even and odd exponents. So this function is neither even nor odd, but the leading term is even, and that's the only one that we're looking at for end behavior, is that leading term. So as x goes to the right, and as x goes to the left. So you're going to have that every time, and I want to know what my y value does. So what does f of x do? So that's going to be the same for every single problem. And what you're going to need to do is figure out the last two pieces here. So since the leading term is negative, as I go to the right, my graph is going to go down. So it goes down to negative infinity. The degree is even, so they go the same direction. So the other one's going to also have to be negative infinity. On number 5, my leading term is here. That's the highest exponent. That's x squared. X to the first. This is no x's. If you want to write x to the 0, you can. So they put it in standard form. They're in order. My degree is odd on this one. So they're going to go opposite directions. And my leading term has a leading coefficient that is positive. So as I go to the right, that means it's going to go up. As I go to the left, we already decided that exponent is odd, so they'll go opposite directions. So this will be negative infinity. Number 6, you can pause this and try 6 and 7, and then unpause and I'll finish the problems off. Hopefully you took the time to do that. My leading term here, they are in order. So as x goes to the right and x goes to the left, so as I'm going to plus infinity and minus infinity, what happens with our function? So f of x, or y, in this case, my leading term was positive. Leading coefficient was positive. So as I go to the right, it's going to go up. My degree is odd, so they'll go opposite directions. And on number 7, note this time, I don't have it in standard form. This is x to the 5th. This one's x to the 7th, x to the 3rd, and x to the 1st. So my leading term is actually the negative 6x to the 7th. Hopefully you caught that. So as x goes to plus infinity and as x goes to negative infinity, what does my function do? So f of x or y, what does it do? Since this is a negative leading coefficient, as I go to the right, it's going to go down. And the degree is odd, so they'll go opposite directions. So since this one went to negative infinity, this one will have to go to plus infinity. And that finishes our notes.